We are all going to experience ignorance, enlightenment. We are all going to experience birth and death. In the practice, we're all experiencing it all the time. That's the truth. There is no religion, there is no spiritual belief system that is going to save you from that experience. Some might attempt to delude you from it, to make you put it off, to make it seem like something you don't need to fear because life's this. It doesn't work. It's a medication. At some point, the medication wears off, and you have to face what the medication has been covering up. At some point in your experience, your faith will run out. Don't see that as a bad thing. When your faith gets weak, that's when you move into your knowing. The truth, you don't need to have faith in the truth. The truth is, those trees do what they do because they do what they do. They don't have faith their leaves are going to come out in the spring and fall off in the fall. They know it's going to happen. They live in the truth. They live in the order. Their life depends on it. We like to separate ourselves from that type of thing and give ourselves the choice to believe in things other than that simple truth. But that simple truth that allows that is the same simple truth that allows us. So it is the same thing. So all the processes that you see every other form of life going through around you is the same thing you're going through. Just because our brains are big doesn't mean we're immune from the experience of life. We're given these things eventually to let our mind be subordinate to our spirit, so that our mind, we have the ability to appreciate that experience for what it is. On a sensory level, more than any other animal, more than any other form. To appreciate it. But instead, because we don't want to accept that truth, we use our brain to delude ourselves. You know, I was talking to someone and I said, I believe the reason that the human brain is so big is because it takes a big brain to keep convincing us that we're full of crap. We need a lot of brain to keep telling ourselves that we're not one with what's going on, that that we're special, we're different, we're in charge here, we're stewards, We need a really big brain to keep telling us that. Because if we don't constantly tell ourselves that, then we're like, oh my God, then what's going on if that's not the case? We're like everybody else? We have the same rules as everybody else? Are you kidding me? We're not special? No. When I came to that enlightenment, I should say when it was brought to me, I was relieved. I'm always so relieved when I'm completely wrong about something that's causing me so much strife. I'm so happy to be wrong. It's like, oh, thank God, because I couldn't live that way forever. And if you can't live that way forever, then it isn't true. If you're living in a way that you can't live forever, then it isn't true. It's going to break down. It's going to break down. And it's much easier to let go of the hand before it breaks down. If you hold on to that hand until it crumbles in your hand, because you'll blame that hand. You'll blame that hand for your issue. But then the hand will crumble away and the issue will still be there. And then you're left with, oh, it wasn't the hand after all I needed to let go of? It was something in me? Yeah. It was you, period, that you needed to let go of. These are all the reasons why we don't speak the truth. Okay? Now, I had a patient that came in to see me last week, and this is one of the stories I want to share. And I don't really share a lot of patient stories with you guys because, it just hasn't been appropriate. But this is one where it's just a great example that if I wouldn't have spoken the truth, something wouldn't have happened. And yet, well, that's every day, You all come in to see me, and those of you who haven't, you need to know. I have no idea what I'm going to say to somebody. I have no idea what's going to come through me. I'm just present, being a vehicle of truth and honesty to help those people let go of this and let themselves evolve. Okay? So the conditions of this person are unimportant. The point is that when I tell you this, you're going to have a hard time believing me. And I want you to know that that's okay. But listen to the whole story. Feel your disbelief when I tell you the first part of it. Feel it. Be there with it. It's okay. I'm going to know it anyway. So it's okay. And then wait until I finish telling the story, and then see what level of disbelief you're at, just as a measure, okay? It's a real quick story. I'm going to make it short. So a woman comes in to see me. She's having a really bad problem with vertigo. Okay, she has what's called disembarkment, which means her inner ears are all screwed up and she can't walk, she can't move, So she came to see me, and she's, needless to say, she's doing better, all right? So she sits down, and I tell her that one of the reasons that she's having this ongoing anxiety, which leads to these problems, is because she has what's called a vanishing twin within her. She took a child from her mother's womb. She's holding it inside of her. This is an energetic being inside of her. It's very immature. It's like a special needs energy, okay? So anytime she tries to leave and go anywhere, anytime she tries to do anything, anytime she tries to grow up and have her own life, this child feels threatened. Because it knows at some point she's going to outgrow this energy within her, and that this energy really isn't meant to be there, okay, and it's going to have to leave. So I tell her this. Good. That's an honest representation of disbelief. If I was hearing this story from someone, okay, no matter even if I were hearing it from me, there would be a healthy sense of, okay, all right, I'm listening. So I do the removal on her, okay? I do what I'm called to do. I don't know what it is. I just do what I'm called to do. I don't, but whatever. I do what I do. She immediately starts feeling a sensation in her gut. She says, I don't know if I'm going to throw up or if I'm going to have to go to the bathroom. I said, is this experience becoming real for you? She says, yes, this is real. She goes home. Neither happened here. She goes home. I just saw her today, of course, and she says, after I left your office, I went home. I broke into a fever. I had a fever. I had chills. I had aches. I had the flu. I haven't had the flu in however many years, but she said, but I knew it wasn't the flu. It just felt like it. She had release. Things came out of her. She says, I feel completely different. My anxiety levels are much lower. I'm doing more. I'm laughing. I don't feel anxious when I go to do things anymore. I'm not feeling it anymore. Something's completely gone from me now. It's different. I said, you can't deny this, can you? She goes, I can't deny it. Now, this is a woman who, when she came to see me, was one of the most untrusting people that's ever come to see me. Nothing personal. It wasn't that she didn't trust me. She didn't trust. There isn't suffering because I'm smacking Jerry in the arm. There's suffering. I don't personalize it. She accepted that it was undeniable what happened, that she knew it had to be something to do with what we did. Now, the only reason I told you that story was, one, to make you come into your own disbelief and let go of your old truths that said, well, energetic entities living in other people, that's crazy, that's nuts. So who thinks of these things? Well, the only reason that I know these things are true is because people go through physical responses and they heal. I'm not a faith guy. I'm a pragmatist. I do what I'm asked to do, I look at the results. I do what I'm asked to do, I look at the results. I do what I'm asked to do, I look at the results. And if I do what I'm asked to do and the person does what I'm asking them to do, my results are pretty darn good. And I say my as the orders. The truth's results are pretty good. Pretty good. So my point in telling you this again is, if I didn't tell her that truth, if I wasn't open to tell her that was going on inside of her, if I wasn't open to put myself out there, completely expose myself, completely risk looking like a lunatic, like a total quack job, if I were wrapped up in anything of what anyone in this world, which 95% of the world that I told that story to would think I was completely crazy, would she have had that healing? No. Would she be on her way to getting better from something the doctors told her was incurable? That would only just get worse. No. Do you see it? Do you see why I said it takes a brave spirit to admit that everything they ever thought was right is completely wrong, and to embrace a truth that will, on some level, put them in opposition with a lot of other people? But you have to be brave in it. You have to be fearless in it. I have a healthy level of primordial fear. If a truck is coming at me, I'm going to step out of the way. But I'm not going to step out of the way because I'm afraid. I'm going to step out of the way because it's a truck. I don't need to be fearful. It's like, oh, there's a truck. I don't need to go, oh my God, there's a truck. Like, yeah, right. And as I'm fearful of it, I'm getting hit. Exactly. It's common sense. I've replaced any fear I have with common sense. I mean, come on. You cannot know the truth and live in fear. You will always have a block. There will always be a dilution factor. You can know a lot of it, and I'm not saying you should, well, what's the point then? I'm fearful, forget the truth. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying at some point you will hit that crossing point where you will have to surrender choicelessly into the truth and face the fear of what's going to happen when you do that. And the biggest fear you will face is fear of loss. Loss of credibility, loss of reputation, loss of friendship, loss of marriage, loss. Okay? I didn't lose anything. Now when I'm in the truth, for me, it's all gain. It's all gain. It's just all seeing her come in and do that, and seeing the gain that comes from the truth that I live within and that I'm helping other people step into. So what I want to do is I want to just take a passage. This is like the only time where I kind of feel like a priest for a second, Let's look at, turn to page 33 in Psalms chapter 5. Please stand and... I'm sorry, I'm just being funny. I'm in a black shirt and all, so I'm just kind of... all in good fun. All in good fun. I remember those days, going to my Lutheran church. Good days. Okay, so this is one of the things that came up with, you're in a situation where, and I actually said this. This is something that actually came through me in the moment. This was to a mother and father whose young boy had been dealing with some mental issues and had just jumped off a bridge. I can understand how much you must miss him. I can understand what a shock this is. He was only 30 years old. It must be so hard to understand how these things happen. These moments in life are so far beyond our comprehension. We'll never understand why these things happen. We'll never make a whole lot of sense of this because we really don't understand the eternity of life. Anything I said not true? No. But did I go into the normal things you'd say? No. I said things that would be instrumental in helping them move forward. I didn't say things that were just comfortable for me. I said what's good for them to hear, because they don't understand why their son did this. They may have ideas, they may have notions, but they won't ever understand. These are wonderful people. These are very loving parents that need to release themselves from a sense of blame and responsibility as to how their child ended up in this situation. I know them. I knew him. Everybody was doing everything they could for him, even him. This just happened. You can say useful things. You can be an instrument. Another one, this is one that I've said to somebody who, again, I said when someone had a long illness with a member of the family, thank God he finally passed. His illness was putting such an emotional and physical strain on the family, and his quality of life was never going to return. I'm happy for everyone involved. That doesn't show a lack of compassion. That doesn't show a lack of love. That shows a presence of, let's look at it this way. This is the truth of it. It really was difficult on everybody. I know you don't want to acknowledge that because you were so involved in your life, but it really was difficult. It really has put a strain. Let's be thankful that everyone's in a better place. Let's move on. You're noticing that What are the two words that you didn't hear? Let me make sure I didn't say in the other one. No. Right, I didn't. I want to make sure I didn't say it as truth. What are the two words that I didn't say in either one of those packages? In either one of those packages.
Sorry and lost.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you start saying I'm sorry all the time, you're apologizing for what life did to them. I'm sorry life did this to you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're making an apology for a natural event in life that happens. Loss and divorce, and these things happen. You don't have to say you're sorry. It's okay, but what are you apologizing for? What are you apologizing for? Well, I'm trying to show them I'm trying to show them that I feel bad. Why are you feeling bad? Be present. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge your inability to change it. Acknowledge your lack of control over doing anything to make them feel any better by saying things like, I know this must be very, very difficult. I can't even begin to understand the pain this divorce has caused you. I love you and I'm here. That's it. You're reinforcing a suffering pattern when you're saying constantly, I'm really sorry. You're apologizing for the divine order of life, however it manifests itself. How is that ever going to help them get over it without having to be set up for it again? Say something that's going to make them in a better space the next time someone dies. You must take an opportunity while someone is facing death to say something compassionate but appropriate to prepare them for the next time someone dies. Now, obviously, you're not saying it with that in your mouth. Well, this must be very difficult, and I'm only hoping that you're in a better place the next time someone dies. No, but by saying, oh God, that would be tough. Don't do that. Don't tell them I told you to. I got enough fans out there already. You know what I'm saying? Just, you're doing something right, but you're also helping them without them knowing you're helping them. We can't be, if I stepped on her foot and she went, ow, you stepped on my toe, I would say, oh, I'm sorry I stepped on your toe. I didn't mean to do that. Because that was me doing something ignorant and hurting someone else. I'm sorry fits that. I did something that I'm sorry I did. I have the right to apologize for that. You don't have the right to apologize for something life brought about. You're taking responsibility for things. You're judging things. You're putting all kinds of things. You're making a lot of assumptions, and you're putting yourself in a place where you're like, I'm really sorry. It's not a comfortable place to be when you didn't do anything. There is suffering. Doesn't mean you don't have compassion, but you accept that I'm going to go to a funeral and people are going to be very upset. And I don't need to see that as, oh my God, they're in this really bad place. I don't want to say anything to make it worse. I just don't want to say anything to make it worse. If you immediately say, I'm sorry, you see what a defensive play that is? Oh, I'm really sorry. Well, they can't be mad at you for walking up to them and apologizing. And I hear people habitually apologizing all the time. Oh, I'm sorry. And I correct them. I'll say, what are you sorry for? Oh, I don't know. I'm just sorry. Stop that. What are you sorry for? I don't know. Well, then don't be. Because the implication of I'm sorry is I did something wrong. Well, but what did you do wrong? I don't know. That means you're in the habit of always admitting, I did something wrong, I'm sorry. Anything to make this okay, I'm sorry. Anything to make this all right, I'm sorry. You're not going to make it all right by saying you're sorry. If I step on your toe and I say I'm sorry, okay, and your toe still hurts, you're going to be like, well, I'm really glad you're sorry, but my toe still hurts. Well, I'm really glad you're sorry, but my husband's still dead. So, what's the point? Think about what you're doing and the things you're holding on to. And substitute those things with truthful, honest statements. I have no idea what you will require as you move through this experience. But anything I can provide within a space of balance, I'm here for you. I'm not over-obligating. I'm not overextending. but they know I love them and I'm there. To what extent I can be there. That way, if they call and say, hey, I'm really in a spot, can you help me? And I say, geez, it's really not a good time. I didn't say, oh, I'll do anything for you. Well, you know what? This is one of those times where this isn't going to work, but please keep me in mind. I would love to do it when it worked for me. That would be great. You can maintain relationships in a space of truth and honesty. You don't have to lie to make things work. It's a bad habit. Whatever's working because you're lying, it's a false peace. And you'll have anxiety over it because you'll be waiting for it to reach a point where it's not sustainable, and then it's going to freaking crash. And with it, remember, this is all tied into your body as well. What's a big thing you need to be in a space of truth with that's very basic to all of us? Your health. You know, assessing your health is as simple as looking in the mirror. How do I look? How am I? When you're not afraid of the truth, okay, you'll see it. Not judgmentally. I have, whatever. I can honestly, I can look in the mirror and I can go, I'm healthy. But I'm going to make some fun stuff up, okay? So this isn't me, but for example, I'm slumping. I'm not judging. I am slumping. I am heavier. I am heavier than I should be. I look tired. I have discomfort in my leg. You're not judging yourself for having these things. You're just observing where you're at and then saying, well, in a space of truth and honesty, I need to start doing some things to change this. You're letting go. You're letting go of what you want to believe. No, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm great. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm great. There's nothing wrong with me. And you're going, okay. You're letting go of that. That's still going to keep going in your head. But you're letting go of believing it long enough to go, okay, there's some things I need to be doing. Is that denial going to leave your life immediately? No. Is it going to want to continue to tell you it's right, that there's nothing wrong with you, you're perfectly fine? It's going to be there. But as you embrace the truth of, I'm going to start walking, I'm going to start doing some shoulder exercises, I'm going to start drinking some water, I'm going to start getting more rest, and then that truth starts to heal you, then you look back at what you were holding on to and go, you weren't telling me the truth. And you can let it go. But if you never give yourself to the truth and allow yourself to be healed by it, then you can't look back at what you once believed as true and go, well, there was some room for improvement there. But if you believe what you're holding on to is absolute, and you're not willing to die and change to it, you're stuck in the water. You got no oars, you got no motor, you don't even think you need gas. You're sinking eventually, right? So I fully expect that the way that I see life and the truth that I see in it will continually change and evolve into a higher and higher space of absoluteness. I truly know that. I truly know that everything that I believe to be true now, at some point, in some way, to some fraction, will be completely changed. And that I will forever be admitting I'm completely wrong about something that I now see in a more clearer fashion that allows me to be even higher and higher aligned with the absolute order of life. I'm completely confident in that. I am looking forward to being wrong about something obvious forever. I'm great with it. That's because I'm not holding on to anything anymore. The truth is a part of conscious evolution, and conscious evolution is just that. It's an evolving process. What I saw when I saw things this small is not what I see when I see them this small, is not what I see when I see them this big. And I know that the more I'm expanded and the more that God takes over completely all that I am and shows me things in ways I couldn't comprehend, I have to let go of what was true when I was this big and this big and this big because I'm seeing it in a higher space of totality. That's going to bring change. That's going to bring enlightenment. That's going to bring, to some extent, what I saw when it was this big into a different view and a different light. Correct? Okay. It's going to happen. But what I know isn't going to happen what I know isn't going to happen, is that the way I am with this process, there is never going to be a better way to be with this process than to practice being loving, accepting, compassionate, and peaceful. That I know. That I know. No matter what, I know that. And to always be willing to see the truth, no matter what has to change. No matter what's going to be given, no matter what's going to be taken. I know that will always be a constant part of the process. So be open to it and be open to speaking it. Remember, all of you have come to see me. Don't say you have a gift anymore to me. The gift exists. It is not my gift. It comes through me. It comes through all of you. If you didn't have it coming through you, you wouldn't be alive. Everybody, the gift exists. It isn't my gift. It exists. This is all about helping you open to that truth so that what comes through you is a gift of healing. The shot when you were a kid didn't always feel good. Remember, anyone get those penicillin shots when they were a kid where you get a shot in the butt? Remember that back in the day? Or you had to take a bunch of pills. The shot didn't feel good. The medicine didn't feel good. But you know what? 24 hours later, you were feeling a heck of a lot better. Don't be afraid of the needle. Don't be afraid of the truth. Don't be afraid of the immediate pain or discomfort it might cause, because the relief you will get shortly after and for all your eternity until that truth is brought to a higher level of truth again, it is a huge win. It is all good. It is a big, big win for you.